The Giants and the Browns will provide the early entertainment today in the NFL, and if bad blood is your bag, well, you won't want to miss this one. The two teams held joint practices Thursday and Friday, the latter turning from chippy competition to blows being thrown. Giants wideout Sterling Shepard and Browns cornerback Troy Hill exchanging haymakers that found no home, to be fair. And while cooler heads did eventually prevail, they might be playing through the whistle here on Sunday afternoon. The two will meet in Cleveland, with this game going off at 1 Eastern. Total on that game coming in at 35. Browns 4.5-point favorites at home. We will not see the likes of the pals on opposite sides of this one. That is Odell Beckham Jr. or Saquon Barkley. As for your PM entertainment, that'll be provided by the Niners and the Chargers. A few shaky practices this week reportedly for Jimmy G, and I'll get a second look at Trey Lance as these two go at it at 7:30 Eastern in Los Angeles. For more, let's get our guys in the mix. Sportsline analyst Emory Hunt and the Wizard of Odds, Kenny White. Gentlemen, welcome aboard. We're going to begin with the blows exchanged. Browns and Giants bringing a bit of attitude to the preseason following their Friday fisticuffs. Getting to be that point of the preseason where you just want to strap it up and hit somebody else, whether that be during or post-practice. Browns are 4.5-point favorites at home. The Giants specifically going to want to see more out of that offense after a 7-point performance in week 1 of the preseason. Kenny, where did you make your game line on this one?
Well, John, I'm going to stick with the theme. You know, there's still games went under on Saturday, and the under trend has been so big here in the preseason. Teams are just not showing a lot. The running game has been more predominant, and the defenses have really been ahead of the offenses so far. These two teams, the Giants and the Browns, I have better ratings on their defensive side of the football than I do on the offensive end. The Cleveland Browns are expected to have an amazing year this year. But it's not because of Baker Mayfield. It's because of the defense. And Cleveland's defense has stepped up and been extremely solid. Kyle Lauletta has had a great game last week. Can't expect him to continue to put those type of numbers up in preseason games. Mike Glennon, Clayton Thorson, average numbers for the Giants. Again, all the superstars out. This number just a little too high for me. I'm going to go under the 35.
First things first, let's give that photographer who got that snapshot of Sterling Shepard and Hill, give that person an award. And also, I expect to see that photo not only in Canton, but also the Smithsonian. That was just a great photo, great capture of training camp in its totality. But on the field, the Giants will be playing any starters, so expect to see a lot of Cleveland Browns offense in this ball game. They're one of the deeper, more talented in the AFC. And I think their defense will score a touchdown, number one. But their offense should have their way with the Giants' third team or so. Take the Browns in the points, but definitely go under because I see them going on long, sustained drives because those Giants, the Giants' offense without their starters would not move the football a lot.
All right, taking a look at that total, numbers coming in at 35. As we've said, heavy slant towards the under all preseason long, guys. Again, Giants offense could be extended reps out of the ones after not establishing much in week 1, but still no Saquon. Emory leaning towards the under here, as is Kenny White. The nightcap featuring a California clash between the Niners and the Chargers. These two also held joint practices late in the week. Despite the lack of punches thrown, still plenty between these two. The Rook got a bunch of run with the ones on Friday, Trey Lance that is, and Jimmy G reportedly not his sharpest this week in practice. Still the Niners nearly touchdown favorites tonight in LA, largely part to the fact that rookie head coach Brandon Staley said that he's going to sit the majority of his starters until the real bullets start flying all the way in week 1. Kenny, 5.5, whole bunch of points. Where do you fall on this side of the matter?
Yeah, again, I like the total here, Joe. I'm going to go under the 34 points today. The 49ers, one of the teams in the NFL that still relies on the running game, and that's Mike Shanahan's MO, is to make sure you establish the run. Trey Lance is a below-average NFL quarterback. This guy is a project. He's got all the athletic ability in the world, but can he hit his receivers? Is he going to be accurate in the NFL? I don't think so right away. Nate Studfeld was just brought in. This is a quarterback room that is right now below average because you're not going to see a lot of Jimmy G. Shanahan knows that's his bread and butter. Brandon Staley, as you said, he's going to rest his guys. He's a Sean McVay protege, and he knows he doesn't have to play his starters in the preseason. He's going to save everything for the regular season. Vanilla offense. Staley is a defensive guy. The quarterback rotation is below average, under the 34.
I like the Chargers in the points here. I think we'll see a tightly contested game, but one that'll be very entertaining. So I expect them to score back and forth because you look at Trey Lance and his ability to be a +1 in the run game. Expect 1 or 2 chunk plays coming from him. And we know Easton Stick is a guy that can create off script. He's another one that's a +1 in a run game. So I see them being able to move the football and score. So I see a tightly contested one. So I'm taking the Chargers in the points, but I'm going over the point total.
All right. So in terms of that total, 34 is the number at last check. Emory on the over side of that one. And Kenny is going to play that one under. Kenny's also playing Giants and Browns under the total of 35 as well. Emory likes Cleveland. He leans toward the under there. So there's another look at your can't-miss picks from our guys in terms of Sunday's action.
Okay.
Taking a look at Monday's main attraction, the Jags and the Saints going to meet in prime time. Two teams with a whole bunch of newness to navigate. New QB on both sides, new head coach in Jacksonville. Point being, these preseason reps have a whole bunch of value on both sides of the ball in this one. The Golden Boy with the Golden Locks catching 4 on the road. Trevor Lawrence limited to 2 drives in week 1. Likely to have a longer leash in this matchup despite that pseudo QB competition Urban Meyer's trying to fabricate. Back in the mix with our guys, Emory Hunt and the Wizard of Odds, Kenny White. Kenny, what are we doing with the 4 in this one as we try and figure out who these two teams will be? Obviously, we don't necessarily know who anyone is at this point in the season, but tons of question marks with both of these franchises heading into week 1.
Yeah, no doubt about it. There are a lot of questions with both. I really like the Jaguars quarterback rotation, and for me, everyone's saying that. Joe, you said it last week that this is like pseudo fabrication that Tyler Lawrence is sewn in as a starting quarterback. Pete Prisco said it like there's no possible way Gardner Minshew could play. Well, you're totally both off base. Gardner Minshew is as good or not better than Tyler Lawrence right now. So. Or Trevor Lawrence. So he's better. He's better than that guy right now because he's a rookie. Minshew's got NFL experience. He's not a great quarterback, but I think he's actually pretty decent. I like Gardner Minshew. I really do. So I believe there's a quarterback battle there because if you're Urban Meyer, you don't care if you got the number 1 pick. You want to win now, and that's your job. And your job is to play the guy that can give your team the best chance to win. And that's why Ryan Fitzpatrick started over Tua Tagovailoa last year. Tua was injured, but I'm telling you right now, the quarterback rotation for the Jaguars is actually one of the best in the NFL in their second, third, and fourth string. So I don't like what I saw out of the Saints last week. Both quarterbacks struggled. I don't know whether it's pressure on both quarterbacks. The 6 turnovers really are very alarming. I'm sure they're going to clean a lot of that up today. But I'm taking the Jaguars because of the quarterback rotation. I think Gardner Minshew has a far better day today. I think C.J. Beathard has a better day. Actually, C.J. Beathard was really good last week. So this Jaguar rotation is solid for a preseason team. Not a regular season team, but for preseason, they're actually pretty good.
I have to disagree with you, Kenny, man. I'm going with the Saints here. I'm laying those points with New Orleans. Everyone loves the idea of Gardner Minshew until he actually gets out there and plays. When you talk about Gardner Minshew, you're always talking about the jorts, the mustache, the mullet, and then when you get out there and play, he's taking sacks, he's turning the ball over. This is a very good Saints defense depth-wise, 1, 2, and 3, and I do feel as though whenever the reserves get in there, they're going to be able to get after the quarterback, turn the ball over. And it was the Saints defense that actually made that game against Baltimore rather close because, like you said, Kenny, the offense just kept turning the ball over. But I will take the Saints 2 quarterbacks and Taysom Hill and America's quarterback Jameis Winston to get the job done against a young, inexperienced, and improving Jaguars defense. But I'm definitely going under the total, but taking the Saints to cover.
Gardner Minshew, he completed 66% of his passes last year, almost 8 yards a pass. 16 touchdowns to just 5 INTs, a 3-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
Pretty good for a young guy.
That's great. That's great, Kenny. What percentage of games did he win? This is a franchise trying to move in the right direction, and this is a collegiate football coach working like a collegiate football coach right now in Urban Meyer. He's trying to build this story and get a little competition inside his room. Someone's got to tell him this is NFL football. That's the first overall pick, and if you want to look at history, number 1 overall picks, quarterbacks, they start week 1. There's no time to waste here for Jacksonville, and I don't know what you learn or what you earn putting Gardner Minshew out there week 1. Time will tell. We do have to get to the picks here, Kenny White, but we do fall on opposing sides of the philosophy in Jacksonville right now. Total set at a preseason premium right here, upwards of 40 points. Kenny White, we know the philosophy here. We have to lean towards the under. How do you apply that philosophy in this instance?
Yeah, I'm gonna go under, and I would agree with you. First pick, obviously, yeah, you want to run that guy out there, but also you don't want to stun his growth. You don't want him to be horrible like Ryan Leaf from the get-go, because he's got a horrible team in front of him, and that's why Gardner Minshew couldn't win, because this is a horrible team. They have no athletes on either side of the ball that are all pro NFL players. So this is not a very good football team. They're the worst team in the NFL, close to it. But I'm going to lean to the under here in this game because, again, the trends are under in this league right now because it's let's develop, let's see what's happening. Nobody's showing anything offensively. So 40 is a pretty high total. It scares me because, again, I say the Jaguars quarterback room is very good for a preseason game. And when you're playing two guys that are battling for a starting position, you got two NFL quarterbacks on the Saints that can put points up. So this one really scares me, though.
Emory, how about yourself here when it comes to the total? What do you like in terms of that 40? It's one of the bigger numbers we've seen this preseason. How do you stand on it?
Under. I just don't trust the scoring in this ball game, and I feel like when we see both teams get out there on the field defensively, they'll raise their level of play. But I just trust the Saints defense more. I just don't see them going all out to score against Jacksonville. I think they're going to save some of those plays for the regular season.
I will make you a promise here, Kenny White. If you promise me to shave into just a Minshew mustache here for next week's shows, I'll jump on the bandwagon with you as well. It could be Minshew party of 3 and not 2. Gentlemen, great stuff as always. Thanks for breaking down the preseason action here on HQ. Let's take another look at those picks in terms of Monday's matchup between the Jags and the Saints. Emory Hunt likes the Saints and the under. Kenny likes the Jags and the under. He loves the quarterback room right now, regardless of who's going to be the week 1 starter. There's depth there, and if you want to call it a competition, those guys with plenty to prove. So he's taking the Jags, catching those 4 points on the road against the Saints, also playing it as we do all preseason games under the total. And don't forget, there's only one way to get ready for your season. Download, subscribe, and enjoy the Fantasy Football Today podcast. Our team of expert analysts get you ready for the draft. All the can't-miss picks, sleepers, and more coming your way on Fantasy Football Today.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.